After decades chasing impossible physics and burning through billions on failed prototypes, NASA and Boeing just cracked the code. When Donald Trump returned to office, he ignited the most dangerous arms race in human history. This is the F-47 story, America's sixth-generation monster. The early 20th century completely transformed how wars are fought. Military strategists, including generals who actually witnessed combat firsthand, began declaring that whoever controls the sky holds everyone else at their mercy. This realization ushered in the greatest global arms race the world had ever seen, with nations pouring resources into aerial superiority like never before. America has held this edge for decades. The F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning terrorized rivals worldwide, becoming symbols of untouchable American technological might. When Ukraine received basic F-16s in their conflict with Russia, Russian commanders watched their air dominance start crumbling before their eyes. Imagine their fear realizing what's coming next. But China and Russia haven't been sleeping through this American dominance. Beijing poured endless resources into fighters like the Chengdu J-20, Shenyang J-11, Shenyang J-15, and the J-16, training pilots beyond exhaustion, pushing engineers to their absolute limits. Russia contributed with beasts like the Sukhoi Su-57, Su-35, Su-30, the MiG-35, and MiG-31. These aircraft compete with the very best of what the United States offers, yet always lagging behind America's cutting-edge capabilities. Until now. For years, a sixth-generation fighter seemed impossible. NASA wrestled with designs that defied physics itself, pushing boundaries that seemed impossible to cross. Prototypes failed consistently, each failure costing millions and crushing the spirits of the engineers involved. Billions vanished into a graveyard of abandoned concepts, creating skepticism about whether the project could ever succeed. That changed dramatically in 2014 when DARPA launched the Aerospace Innovation Initiative. Those secret X-plane prototypes everyone wondered about? They weren't just experimental tests or academic exercises. They were full-scale flight demonstrations, blueprints for the most feared aircraft ever conceived. Boeing worked behind closed doors on something they quietly called a penetrating counter-air vehicle, a name that barely hints at the monster taking shape in their secure facilities. A weapon system unlike anything the world had seen. These X-plane prototypes served as demonstrators for Boeing, providing crucial data for developing technologies that once seemed impossible. The testing revealed solutions to problems that had plagued aerospace engineers for generations. Breakthrough after breakthrough emerged from those classified facilities. March 2025 brought President Trump face-to-face with a decision that would reshape military history for generations to come. Three defense giants fought brutally for the contract of a lifetime, each promising revolutionary capabilities. Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Raytheon Technologies all presented compelling proposals. But only one could deliver what the Air Force demanded with absolute certainty. An aircraft operating completely alone, without the support systems previous generations required. No wingmen scouting ahead, no extensive ground support coordinating every move. Just pure, concentrated lethality wrapped in stealth technology. The competition was fierce, with each company investing millions just to compete for the opportunity. Boeing won with a staggering $20 billion price tag, more than double any previous aircraft program budget in American history. Congress gasped at the numbers, demanding justifications for such extraordinary spending. But what Boeing promised made every penny worth it. An aircraft virtually undetectable by any air defense system currently deployed by America's enemies, from Russian S-400 systems to China's most advanced radar networks. The F-47 wouldn't just be another fighter jet added to America's impressive aerial arsenal. It would be a flying fortress, capable of slicing through the world's most heavily defended airspace, including areas protected by overlapping radar coverage, advanced missile systems, and coordinated defense networks, and emerging completely untouched on the other side. But here's where the story takes a turn: nobody. While Boeing celebrated their hard-won victory, intelligence agencies tracked something far more ominous across the Pacific Ocean. Beijing hadn't just been developing their own sixth-generation aircraft in response to American plans. They planned to deploy it by 2030, 5 full years ahead of America's projected timeline, completely inverting the expected technological advantage. But how could China possibly be ahead of the United States in developing such extraordinarily advanced aerospace technology, especially when America has dominated aerial warfare for decades with unmatched financial resources, technological expertise accumulated over generations, combat experience from multiple conflicts, and partnerships with the world's leading aerospace companies that should have made catching up virtually impossible for any rival nation? Well, the wake-up call came August 5th, 2025. Photos surfaced on Chinese social media showing a mysterious, tailless aircraft prototype being tested at a secure facility. Defense analysts around the world immediately recognized the revolutionary design. That pointed nose optimized for supersonic penetration, those highly swept wings with cropped tips for maneuverability, that distinctive W-shaped trailing edge suggesting advanced thrust vectoring capabilities. This wasn't another J-20 variant or modified existing design based on stolen American blueprints. This was China's answer to American air superiority, and it was further along in development than anyone in Washington imagined possible. Designated either the J-36 or J-50, depending on its specific role in China's aerial combat doctrine, this aircraft represented everything Beijing learned from decades of studying American stealth technology, analyzing every detail they could gather through intelligence operations. But more terrifyingly, it incorporated design elements suggesting capabilities even beyond what the classified F-47 specifications promised. The aircraft's thermal signature appeared nearly non-existent. Its radar cross-section seemed impossibly small. Its projected speed and range exceeded what Western analysts thought achievable with current technology. Chinese engineers reportedly solved fundamental problems American designers still wrestled with in their laboratories. Problems involving materials that could withstand extreme temperatures, propulsion systems that delivered unprecedented thrust-to-weight ratios, and avionics that could process battlefield information faster than any existing system. Their sixth-generation fighter wasn't built to simply match the F-47 in capabilities. It was specifically designed to surpass it in key performance areas. Intelligence sources revealed China's timeline wasn't just ambitious or optimistic, it was aggressively accelerated, with multiple prototype development paths running simultaneously. Beijing had apparently achieved stunning breakthroughs in materials science, discovering composites that absorbed radar waves more effectively than anything in Western arsenals. Their propulsion systems incorporated technologies Western engineers considered theoretically possible, but practically unachievable. Their stealth coatings used nanotechnology applications that seemed years ahead of comparable American programs. Their willingness to pour unlimited state resources into military programs, combined with aggressive industrial espionage operations, targeting Western defense contractors, homegrown innovation from their expanding pool of talented engineers, and a ruthless focus on results over costs, created a perfect storm of rapid advancement that caught American intelligence completely off guard. The Chinese approach differed fundamentally from American development cycles. While U.S. programs face congressional oversight, budget constraints, environmental reviews, and lengthy approval processes, China's military-industrial complex operated with singular focus and nearly unlimited backing from the Communist Party leadership, who viewed the sixth-generation fighter program as essential to their regional dominance ambitions. The urgency behind America's F-47 program becomes crystal clear when examining China's aggressive South China Sea expansion strategy. Beijing makes absolutely no secret of their firm intention to reunify Taiwan with mainland China, treating it as inevitable regardless of what Taiwanese people want or international opinion demands. The only thing standing between China and violent conquest has been American military might, particularly the threat of overwhelming aerial superiority. The Taiwan Relations Act of 1979 gives America the legal framework to provide extensive military assistance to Taiwan. But it's the aircraft carriers continuously patrolling the Taiwan Strait that provide the real deterrent against Chinese aggression. The USS Ronald Reagan, USS Carl Vinson, and USS Nimitz are floating fortresses capable of launching devastating coordinated attacks from F-18 Super Hornets and F-35 Lightning IIs, creating a defensive umbrella of overwhelming firepower that even China's massive military, the largest in the world by personnel count, hesitates to challenge directly. These carrier groups represent power projection on an unimaginable scale. Each carrier houses approximately 75 aircraft, along with sophisticated radar systems, electronic warfare capabilities, and defensive weapons that make them nearly impregnable to conventional attacks. The presence of these carriers sends an unmistakable message to Beijing about the costs of any invasion attempt. But a sixth-generation Chinese fighter changes everything about this strategic calculus. If Chinese aircraft equipped with advanced sensors, hypersonic missiles, and coordinated attack capabilities can penetrate American defenses and neutralize carrier groups before they can launch effective counterstrikes, Taiwan's fate would be sealed in hours. The strategic balance preventing global catastrophe for decades could collapse overnight, triggering a regional conflict that could easily escalate into something far worse. American military planners, running countless simulations and war games, realize conventional fifth-generation fighters, no matter how advanced or numerous, wouldn't adequately counter this emerging threat. They needed something genuinely revolutionary, something representing a quantum leap in capabilities, something guaranteeing American aerial supremacy for the next 50 years, regardless of what adversaries developed. The F-47 wasn't just an upgrade to existing platforms. It was America's comprehensive insurance policy against global catastrophe and the loss of superpower status. But what specific technological breakthroughs did NASA and Boeing achieve in their highly classified collaboration that makes the F-47 so utterly dominant and terrifying that it justifies a $20 billion investment, represents more than double the budget of any previous aircraft program, and could potentially render an entire generation of advanced Chinese and Russian fighter aircraft completely obsolete before they even reach operational deployment with frontline combat units? Well, what makes the F-47 truly terrifying isn't just stealth capabilities or advanced avionics systems that previous generations pioneered. It's the seamless integration of multiple technologies that most aerospace engineers thought were theoretically interesting, but practically impossible to implement. Sources within the Department of Defense, speaking on condition of anonymity due to classification restrictions, hint that NASA and Boeing's collaboration produced breakthroughs absolutely dwarfing anything previously achieved in aerospace engineering. The aircraft's revolutionary engines, developed under the highly secretive Next Generation Adaptive Propulsion Program, represent a genuine quantum leap in power output and fuel efficiency. While specific details remain locked behind classification barriers, insiders confirm the F-47 can cruise at supersonic speeds without engaging afterburners. This breakthrough capability allows striking targets over 1,000 nautical miles away and returning to base without requiring dangerous mid-air refueling operations that expose aircraft to enemy detection. NASA's extensive supersonic testing at their specialized facilities proved absolutely critical to success. engineers needed to develop engines fitting into an unprecedented structural design, capable of withstanding extreme heat generated by air friction when traveling between Mach 1 and Mach 3. The collaboration between Boeing's military design team and NASA's world-class aerospace specialists created propulsion systems incorporating exotic alloys, advanced cooling technologies, and revolutionary combustion chamber designs that seemed completely impossible just years ago. The testing process itself represented a massive undertaking. NASA engineers conducted hundreds of wind tunnel tests, computer simulations, and actual flight tests using modified test aircraft. Each test generated valuable data about airflow patterns, thermal stresses, and structural integrity under extreme conditions. Failures were analyzed exhaustively, with each setback providing insights that pushed the program forward. But raw speed is just the beginning of the F-47's capabilities. The aircraft's revolutionary stealth technology goes far beyond simple radar evasion techniques that earlier stealth aircraft pioneered. Its sophisticated multispectral signature reduction makes it nearly invisible to infrared sensors scanning for heat signatures, acoustic detection systems listening for engine noise, and even visual identification at typical engagement ranges where pilots might spot enemy aircraft. Enemy pilots wouldn't just struggle to target the F-47 with their weapons systems. They might never know it was there, lurking in their airspace, until their own aircraft were already falling from the sky in flames, destroyed by missiles they never saw coming. The stealth technology incorporates advances in material science. Radar-absorbing coatings use carbon nanotube matrices that trap electromagnetic radiation. The aircraft's shape is optimized using computational fluid dynamics simulations running on supercomputers. Even the engine intakes are designed to hide the spinning turbine blades from radar detection. Every rivet, every panel gap, every surface has been optimized to minimize the aircraft's signature. And the most chilling aspect of the entire F-47 program? The aircraft's autonomous coordination capabilities using artificial intelligence. Unlike previous fighters requiring extensive human oversight for every decision, constant radio communication with ground controllers, and detailed mission planning, the F-47 can independently command and coordinate swarms of unmanned collaborative combat aircraft, essentially turning a single pilot into a one-person air force with unprecedented lethality. This isn't just incremental technological advancement building on previous generations. It's the complete weaponization of artificial intelligence on a scale never before attempted in military history, raising ethical questions that haven't been fully addressed. The AI systems can process battlefield information faster than any human, identifying threats and opportunities in milliseconds. They can coordinate attacks with precision impossible for human pilots. They can adapt to changing situations without waiting for orders. The implications are both exciting and terrifying. Behind all the technological marvels, strategic implications, and impressive capabilities lies a sobering economic truth most people aren't talking about. A reality that could reshape America's entire defense budget. The F-47 program represents the most expensive military aircraft development in human history, dwarfing even the troubled F-35 program that faced years of cost overruns and technical delays. Each individual F-47 is projected to cost at least 3 times more than an F-35 Lightning II, which already carries a hefty $100 million price tag per aircraft. With the Air Force requesting at least 185 F-47s for initial operational capability, and potentially many more for full deployment across all combat theaters, total program costs could easily exceed $60 billion, not including the massive additional expenses for research facilities, development costs, specialized maintenance infrastructure, pilot training programs, and the secure hangars required to protect these valuable assets. Congress initially balked at the astronomical numbers, with budget hawks demanding detailed justifications. Why spend so much when existing F-22 Raptors and F-35 Lightning IIs still dominated global airspace, maintaining clear superiority over any adversary aircraft? Couldn't incremental upgrades to existing platforms achieve similar results at a fraction of the cost? These were reasonable questions demanding serious answers. But Major General Joseph Kongel, Director of Air Force, Force Design, Integration, and Wargaming, delivered a sobering assessment that silenced congressional opposition and changed minds. We tried a whole bunch of different options, and there was no more viable option than the Next Generation Air Dominance Initiative to achieve air superiority in this highly contested environment. His words carried the weight of extensive studies, countless simulations, and hard intelligence about enemy capabilities. The reality facing American military leaders was absolutely stark and unavoidable. China's military budget had grown exponentially year after year, reflecting their determination to challenge American dominance. Their technological capabilities were advancing faster than even pessimistic predictions suggested. Their willingness to directly challenge American hegemony, testing boundaries in the South China Sea and elsewhere, was no longer in question. The F-47 wasn't just another expensive weapon system competing for budget dollars. It was the only thing standing between America and the catastrophic loss of global military supremacy that has underpinned world order since 1945. When faced with choosing between fiscal restraint and national survival, between balanced budgets and maintaining superpower status, Congress ultimately chose survival. The vote wasn't unanimous, but the margin was decisive once legislators understood the stakes. But that momentous decision triggered responses extending far beyond China's sixth-generation program, creating ripple effects throughout global military planning. Russia, despite being severely drained financially and militarily by their costly invasion of Ukraine, suddenly announced massive increases in defense spending and accelerated development of their own next-generation fighters. The MiG-41 PAKDP program, previously considered a distant possibility lacking serious funding, received massive budget increases and priority status from the Kremlin. Even America's closest allies felt intense pressure to keep pace. The Global Combat Air Program, an ambitious joint initiative between the United Kingdom, Japan, and Italy, shifted into overdrive with accelerated timelines and increased funding commitments. France, Germany, and Spain rushed their Future Combat Air System program, pouring resources into a project they had previously approached cautiously. What began as a focused American response to Chinese military expansion evolved rapidly into a truly global arms race, absolutely dwarfing the Cold War competition between NATO and the Soviet Union. The implications extend far beyond military strategy and battlefield dominance. The nation fielding the first truly operational sixth-generation fighter, achieving full combat capability with trained pilots and support infrastructure, will possess strategic advantages capable of reshaping global politics for entire generations. Taiwan, the South China Sea, Eastern Europe, the Middle East. Every potential flashpoint will be viewed through the lens of sixth-generation fighter capabilities and which power can project force most effectively. Smaller nations will face impossible choices, forced to align with whoever can guarantee their security against regional threats. This will reshape alliances that have existed for decades, rewrite the map of global politics, and alter trade relationships. Countries sitting on valuable resources or controlling strategic choke points will become prizes in this new great game. Trade routes will be secured by the nation commanding the skies with these technological marvels. Resource access from oil fields to rare earth minerals will flow to powers that can protect extraction and transportation. Diplomatic leverage in international negotiations will tilt dramatically toward nations possessing sixth-generation capabilities. International institutions like the United Nations may find their authority further diminished as raw military power reasserts dominance over diplomatic norms. As we stand on the precipice of the sixth-generation fighter age, witnessing the birth of weapons that could change warfare forever, one question dominates strategic thinking in capitals worldwide. Who will achieve operational capability first, gaining the crucial first-mover advantage? The F-47's projected deployment between 2027 and 2030 represents America's enormous bet on maintaining aerial supremacy through technological superiority. But China's aggressively accelerated timeline, backed by their command economy's ability to mobilize resources instantly, suggests this historic race remains far from decided. Sources within the Department of Defense hint that America might actually be further along the production line than publicly stated, maintaining operational security. The element of surprise could prove strategically decisive. If the F-47 reaches full operational capability before China's J-36 or J-50, it would cement American dominance for decades, maintaining the security architecture that has prevented great power conflicts since World War II. But if China somehow deploys first, achieving operational capability ahead of American timelines, the strategic balance shifts dramatically and dangerously. A Chinese first deployment would embolden Beijing's ambitions throughout the Indo-Pacific region. Taiwan would face immediate pressure. Japan and South Korea would question American security guarantees. The entire regional order could unravel rapidly as nations recalculate their strategic positions based on the new reality. Perhaps the most sobering realization confronting military planners and ethicists, we're witnessing the emergence of weapons systems so extraordinarily advanced, so capable of sophisticated autonomous operation. They represent a fundamental shift in how wars will be fought throughout the 21st century. The F-47 and its Chinese counterparts aren't simply evolutionary improvements building on previous generations. They're harbingers of a future where human pilots might become completely obsolete, replaced by artificial intelligence, where machines make life-and-death decisions in microseconds without human input, and where the very nature of conflict transforms beyond recognition into something we can barely imagine. Do you believe this technological arms race makes the world safer or more dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive fascinating, hit that subscribe button so you never miss our coverage of latest military technology and global strategy.